Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
It's you and the senorita. Whooper blowing up the tweeter, cause it's me up in the speaker. Back in the mama seat, top down like a player. And the sound up in your ears, it is the dopest rhyme. Say I run a game like a cheater, I'm balling like a
So, I took a visit. Took some time to take a visit. Do you take a visit? Do you make a visit? I took some time to make a visit to a place that, I don't know if you have any places like this. I took some time to make a visit to a place where I spent very little of my life, but for some reason is kind of hardwired into my DNA. I guess if you're in certain places at certain times, especially when you're a kid, they get fixed in you. Proportionately, you only spend a teeny tiny amount of your life in high school, but those memories last forever. I think the same could be said for a lot of childhood. But I made a visit to upstate New York, which was interesting. It was a place where both my parents are from, and a place where I lived for a teeny tiny bit before heading off to New York City and eventually London. And even though I spent so little time there growing up, the moment I stepped off the plane into the airport, floods of memories came back. It was that post-Memorial Day time of year, which is regarded as summer, but not quite there yet. So it was warm, but with chilly breezes coming off of Lake Erie and the Erie Canal. Beautiful, lush, green expanses of land separating the little neighborhoods that made up what I suppose is technically considered a city, but really sort of feels a lot more like a bunch of villages sort of stuck together around something that masquerades as a city hub. Air is different. Sky is different. And this time of year, like I said, there's a crispness to every breath, despite the fact that you're just starting to break a sweat as you walk down the street before the summer really takes hold. And people do their very best to do whatever they can to stay out of the sweltering heat. People with above-ground pools, something that you see more in the Northeast than anywhere else, but people with above-ground pools starting to take the covers off and get into them to try and keep cool. The above-ground pool is something that you see a lot more in that part of the country, as having an actual pool, not really justifiable, bearing in mind that a decent chunk of the year, Mother Nature, during the wintertime, is actively trying to end your life. It gets cold up there. But it was a beautiful time of year. And I was there because my cousin Nathan is no longer with us. As kids, we were best friends. And when we would get into childhood squabbles, my aunt would tell us, "Nah, you're best friends. You're going to be best friends again in no time. So why don't you just make up? You're like Damon and Pythias." And when we asked what it meant to be like Damon and Pythias, my English teacher aunt explained to me that we represented the literary ideal of friendship, like Damon and Pythias. We had a bond that couldn't be broken. Like Damon and Pythias, we would lay down our lives for one another. And I think that at that point we would have. We definitely took our own lives in our own hands as kids. We had this idea that we were definitely going to wind up being movie stuntmen. That was our calling, without a doubt. And we thought that if we practiced and we applied ourselves, we might be able to get a head start and begin working as, wait for it, stunt kids. Because there was clearly a hole in the marketplace. And we reasoned that if we could become stunt kids, we'd corner the market. And we were pretty confident that as stunt kids, we'd be in constant demand, as there weren't many stuntmen under 4 feet that could take part in the children's shows that we like to watch, which was flawless 4-year-old logic. We practiced, we applied ourselves by choosing our childhood activities based on the level of physical danger that they involved. The more they were a risk to our physical health and safety, the better they were for our future. And we got into more trouble than I can remember. And something special happened when we wound up broken, bruised, or bleeding. That makes me miss my cousin a lot. We'll talk about it next.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
I do what I want, when I want, how I want. Every day you're going and working, running that rat race at that pace in that place will leave a bad taste for anyone, everyone working day after day. So buddy, I gotta say for you, there's gotta be a better way. Yeah, and you do what they told ya. Company man, feel it, a mindless little soldier. How can you live like that and maintain your composure before it's begun? Your life's already freaking over. Yeah, I do what I want, when I want.
So last week I made a trip to upstate New York, where my parents are from, where I spent a teeny tiny fraction of my life before we headed off to New York City, and then on to London, where I grew up. And the reason I did that was not so much to relive my youth, although the very second I stepped off the plane, memories flooded back. I remember walking through the same doors that I would walk through when I would get off a plane as a kid when I came back from England to visit grandparents and cousins and the like. I remember the doors being exactly the same, just a lot smaller. But the reason I went back to upstate New York was because my cousin Nathan, no longer with us. And like I said, as kids, we were best friends. So much so that when we get into fights, my English teacher, Aunt, gave us a literary example to live by. She was like, just make up. You're going to make up. You guys are best friends. You're like Damon and Pythias, these two friends that would lay down their lives for each other. And like I said before, I think that maybe we would have. We definitely took our life in our hands and each other's lives in our hands on numerous occasions. Why? Well, we watched TV shows, kids shows, and realized that there was a hole in the marketplace for what we thought were called stunt kids. Kids that perform stunts like movie stuntmen, something that we were going to wind up being. My cousin Nathan and I would practice putting our lives in mortal danger on a regular basis in preparation for our career as stunt kids. We knew we'd be in constant demand. So we chose our childhood activities based on the level of physical danger they involved. The more they were a risk to our health and safety, the better they were for our future, no doubt. And we got into so much trouble, as you could imagine. There was a stairwell in my aunt and uncle's house growing up. And like all stairwells, the drop to certain death from the second floor was prevented by a railing. Cousin Nathan used to grab the railing and stand on the outside of it, leaning over imminent death. And he used to refer to it as being in his dangerous place. He's like, Mom, I'm in my dangerous place. Well, don't do that. But I'm practicing. Practicing for what? Practicing for being a stuntman. So like I said, the more our childhood activities were a risk to our health and safety, the more of an investment they were in our future. But like Damon and Pythias, when we invariably wound up broken or bruised or bleeding from an ill-advised boyhood experience on a homemade ramp, a rope swing, a go-kart, a leap from a balcony, a modified riding mower. What a mistake that one was. Or something like that. When one of us got hurt, the other would immediately spring into action to care for our fallen comrade. And I'll never, ever forget. I'll never forget walking what seemed like miles home to his house. It was funny driving up to the house where he grew up and I spent so much of my youth. I saw this point that at the time seemed like miles from home. Much smaller distance as an adult. But as a kid, I'll never forget walking what seemed like miles from his house barefoot and bleeding like you wouldn't believe after having cut my foot open doing something that should have been done while wearing shoes. And I was sure that was it when I sustained this injury. As much as we viewed blood, scars, and bruises as badges of honor that meant we were getting closer to our goal, this one worried me. I thought I was done. I was maimed. I was stranded on a desolate country road. There were no adults, no cops, no cars, no one around. There's no way to make it home. And I realized I would never realize my stunt kid potential. Miles from anything, no help in sight. Despair set in. But my cousin Nathan didn't see things that way. He promised to get me home. He promised he would get me home. And he said that his mom had some goop. Technical term used by 5-year-olds. Had some goop that would fix the limb that I was sure that I was going to lose. And the whole time, the whole way home, Nathan encouraged me. He encouraged me to keep leaning on him as we hobbled our way back to his house for what seemed like eternities. And he said over and over again, Jesus, please help Adrian. We made it home, and my aunt calmly applied some of the vast amounts of antibiotics she sensibly kept around the house to my foot. As she was doing so, I remembered thinking that if it hadn't been for my cousin, I might not have made it back. And it struck me what an incredible thing it is to have a friend. Sometimes without a friend in one way or another, you might not make it home. And in so many ways, so many times throughout our childhood, my cousin Nathan and I got each other home. I love you, Nathan. Good night.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radio Land. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah. Give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on, come on. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. You do what we do. You do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. You do what we do. You do what we do. Well, it's a new one. Here I come again, coming again, taking it back to the place where I'm picking up the pen. And before I started, it's already a killer. When you know that you're good, I gotta say that it's a thriller. Hey, I do it.
So, Funkhauser.
Oh, hey.
How many times have you come in, or how many times have I come in, add them all together, have we come in and said, that's it, I quit, we're done,
See, carry
diggity
the
done.
Multiply by 6. Get it?
A lot. And you know what? Because we come in here and rant and rave the way we do, Funkhauser, you know what it means?
What?
We're not going to quit.
Oh, I thought it means...
You're not special.
No.
I'm tired of your
No, it doesn't. I was thinking about it. When we have our moments off the air, which are frequent and verbose about how...
What are you talking about?
It.
That's not what we talk about off the air.
That's me, not you. Here's the thing. You're going to stay. You're going to stay. And I'll tell you why, Funkhauser. Like, you ever get so angry? Not Funkhauser. You ever get so angry, your boss ever make you so freaking mad that once a week you want to storm into their office and yell, "I quit," and storm out with your middle fingers in the air? Well, bad news. What this means is that you're actually not going to quit. You're never going to quit. People that get angry about this sort of thing don't quit. Any want to hazard a guess as to why, Funkhauser?
Well, no. Why? Tell me. Damn it.
Well, because you get that mad about your job, your career. You know what it means? It means that you actually care. And it means that you actually take pride in your work. This new study finds that people who get angry about stuff are much, much less likely to quit because it's a sign that they, like I said, invest real pride in what they do. And the people who quit are the ones who feel indifferent when something goes wrong at their job. So that's not you and me, Funkhauser.
No,
all that,
we keep coming into this place.
All that, wait for it. I just want to do good radio! Means that we're going to stay here and do good radio.
Yeah. Okay.
So here we are. But when your time is up, when you are ready to bail on the whole situation, whatever your chosen career is, whatever your chosen job is, how do you think you're going to leave? Are you going to go out with a bang? Are you going to leave quietly and appreciatively and say, thank you so much for everything, I look forward to retirement? Or are you going to make a statement when your time is up at your place of business? The way a teacher who's retiring did when she gave students a racist test about pimps and hoes. Did you see this?
No.
No. We'll get into it a little later on in the show. Plus, we'll talk about all those charitable donations Donald Trump has been making to veterans groups. Interestingly enough, he's done them all fairly recently and all at once too. Why? We'll get into it after we discuss the events of today. Funkhauser, take it away.
This is My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair and certainly not balanced. And now, super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhauser.
Oh, yeah, missed that.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a double shot of espresso. Espresso.
So, how are you and what is going on in the world?
Doing all right. Dryer comes tomorrow, so sorry for the smell today. My laundry gets done tomorrow. Okay? Thanks.
Have you been hanging your clothes out on a line and
Nope.
letting them dry old-timey style?
Big pile in the corner. Look at that.
No laundry. Not doing the laundry.
Day 17. Big pile in the corner.
What are you doing about underwear?
I got 17
Day 17,
pair.
really?
I got a lot of pair. Day 17. Mm-hmm.
See, I've got like second or third string underwear. My underwear, like I have one very specific type of underwear that I like to wear. It's H&M. Not doing a commercial for H&M, but there's something about their boxer briefs. It just keeps everything where you want it to be kept, without chafing, without getting into cracks and crevices, without feeling like a tangled hammock between your legs after 3 washes. They're great. And I wear those and those alone. And I don't think I have 17 pair. I couldn't make it 17 days without doing a wash.
Well, yeah. I'm wearing the...
So are you wearing like the third string underwear that has holes, things that are not meant to dangle are dangling?
I'm wearing the ones with bows on them and zebra print. The ones you really...
Have you started wearing the ironic gift underwear that you get for either birthday or Christmas?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Time to open up this box.
Yep. You can always tell that I haven't done laundry if you see the dog wearing the Santa Claus hat peeking out above my jeans, because that's the underwear that I'm wearing that day. It's not Christmas. No kidding. But your underwear is... Why are you even looking at my underwear, freak? But it's dogs with Santa Claus hats on it. Next question. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that you will be a...
Now everyone will know what I'm doing tomorrow all day.
All day?
12
all day?
loads. Dropping loads in the washer and then in the dryer. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a highly obvious mama joke that I'm not sure that I can make on the air, so I'll leave that one alone. I guess we can say that on the air. Like, what's the difference between, like... This was on 30 Rock. This joke was on 30 Rock. Liz Lemon made it.
That doesn't mean it's okay.
It doesn't mean it's okay? Okay. We'll leave it alone. You know, when I went for my cousin's service in New York, I discovered the incredible laundry-esque qualities of things like Febreze and I guess it's Tide, or some company makes this like wrinkle release spray, and I knew that like I wouldn't have time to do, you have dress pants, and I guess traveling businessmen know how to deal with this, but I don't know how to iron dress pants without burning a hole in them. But I found that if you like spray this wrinkle release stuff on it, like smells like new. I mean, and they were new. It's not like I had dress pants ready to go. I had to get a wardrobe to go be sad at something. That's always a thrill at a funeral. And then
on the bonus, new black shirt.
Yes, I have a new black shirt, but I felt like I was making a little bit too much effort when other people showed up to the service in jeans and Crocs. I was like, really? But there I was, and I found that there are miraculous things to be done with Febreze and wrinkle release sprays. So if the dryer doesn't work out the way you would like it to, I, for one, and I'm sure I join everyone in the office advocating this, would like it if you started using Febreze and wrinkle release sprays.
Who, me? Not me. Sorry.
So it's really been 17 days since you did a load of laundry?
17 days.
You have so much clothes. Clearly they're paying you too much money.
Hey, they're all band t-shirts and stuff. Today I'm wearing a Bundoran surf shirt from my friend Shane in Ireland. Thanks for the shirt. I'm finally wearing it.
Finally wearing it. You get around to that sort of stuff. It fits good. Looks good. All right. What else?
Paula Abdul says she discovered Cuba Gooding Jr.
Uh-huh.
He's mine.
She discovered Cuba. I think the fact that she's willing to take credit for that would indicate that she's still definitely on drugs. Go on.
Richard Simmons has been hospitalized for exhibiting bizarre behavior. Not good.
But for Richard Simmons, it's Richard Simmons. For that guy, wearing pants qualifies as bizarre behavior. How do you the guy's a beloved national treasure in his own way, but how do you?
Well, they said he went to the hospital for dehydration, which means he's not been drinking enough water, or something else is going on, because he never leaves his house anymore. He just hangs out there. It's easy to drink water when you're hanging out.
He's an incredibly out there guy, but I honestly feel as though like he really kind of doesn't have a bad bone in his body. Like he doesn't seem to. I don't know. I don't know anything about him, really. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but he seems like a decent human being that is really just in it to kind of help people out in his own weird and wonderful way. Wild and wacky stuff. So I hope that guy's okay. Go on.
Amber Heard reportedly has footage of Johnny Depp that could end his career.
Yeah, it's called Mordecai, and you can get it for like $2 on Amazon.
I was really good in that movie.
Amber Heard is not unique in that way. Go on.
Johnny Manziel's being sued for $40,000 for damaging a mansion in Los Angeles he had rented.
Oh, look at that. So, football career is not the only thing he can totally destroy. Didn't that guy go missing, and wasn't he found again reasonably quickly?
He's in the news every single day.
Yeah.
We sometimes talk about it.
Yeah, time to update your Johnny Manziel scorecard. He's not missing anymore, is he?
I don't think so.
Can you sue someone that's missing?
Well,
I guess
you can sue anybody.
Yeah. All right. What else?
A girl who showed up at Princess Day at her dance class dressed as a hot dog.
Yeah.
People are so inspired. They're calling her Hot Dog Princess.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Thought that was kind of cute.
There's a new Hot Dog Princess.
Yeah. It's an adorable kid. And it is kind of an inspiring story. There was a girl in high school that we called Hot Dog Princess. Her story was a lot less inspiring.
Oh, yeah. I had that same girl.
Really? Oh.
I wonder what she ended up doing.
We should move right along.
Israel and Palestine are meeting in Paris to engage in peace talks.
Right. Yes. Because you know what they say. If at first you don't succeed, try, and then try again.
That's like playing the world government game on expert.
You know, like, I actually don't want to make light of this because it is kind of heartening. It is heartening that they're at least, meeting to engage in peace talks. Historically speaking, if we are to judge the outcome of these peace talks from peace talks that they've had in the past, we don't hold out a tremendous amount of hope. But it is encouraging that they're having something called peace talks and they want to try and work something out. Because you know how people say America is this tremendous superpower and we sneeze, the rest of the world gets a cold, that old chestnut. That's a tiny little barren strip of land that has been deemed to have some historical religious significance. And the conflict over the tiny little strip of land in the Middle East, over the idea of the Holy Land of Jerusalem, that has been affecting the world since the dawn of time, as long as people can remember. And it's so complicated, and from the outside looking in, there's absolutely no way the rest of the world can understand what it's like to be just a kid, an Israeli, a Palestinian, that grows up in that part of the world where, because of this strip of land, you might get blown up before you know what's going on. So, fingers crossed that some sort of progress is made, and I think it's a win for humanity that they are engaging in what they call peace talks at all. We'll wait and see how it goes. Go on.
Well, so much more news. Hillary Clinton says Donald Trump is not qualified to be president.
Well, on the bright side, he does know how to use email, so there's that.
Does he? I wonder if he does. Does he have a BlackBerry? Is he sitting there with his little fingers going click, 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 click?
He's a tweeting fool. I think he's an adopter of technology.
I think he calls somebody and says, say this for me. Tweet this.
I don't think so, because remember, he called up, what news outlet was it, where he called up pretending to be like a press secretary with a name like John Smith or Ken Adams or something like, and the guy was clearly Trump. Yeah, and he was like, you sound a lot like Donald Trump. Gotta go by.
I disavow.
You sound you sound a lot like Donald Trump. Getting a cold. Gotta go. Bye.
Days like this when I feel untouchable, I try and make up for all the wrongs I did by living my life like a Cosby kid, jamming on the one like Theo and Stevie. I know it sounds crazy.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me. Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me.
Alrighty then. So, Donald Trump had gone on the record saying that, hey, we're going to use this event to raise a whole bunch of money for veterans. And a lot of people said, well, gee, that's great that you're raising money and you're going to give it to veterans. But which veterans? How is it being paid? When is it being paid? Well, doubters and haters, Trump has an answer for you. Stimulated mostly by a Washington Post investigation. But Trump does have an answer for us, and we'll get into that a little later on in the show. Plus, a teacher that decided to head off into retirement with a little bit of pimp math. What is pimp math exactly? We'll discuss it after we finish going through what remains of the news. Funkhauser, what else is going on in the world?
Ooh, I like that hard W there you did there. That's WH.
What else?
That's very...
Yeah. Sometimes I like to slip in a hard W.
Yeah, I promote the WH. It's hard to do these days. So if you're out there, say who and where.
Who, when, where, and why.
Walmart
I think if I ever have kids and they're in trouble, and I want to sound serious, I'll be like, why did you do this? Why? Help me understand why. I think I had a grandfather that did it to me and always made me feel as though I was definitely in trouble. So I think the hard H sound can cause terror in the hearts and bowels of young children. So I plan to use it if I ever have a kid and they're in trouble. Why did you do that? Go on.
Walmart is partnering... Oh, I didn't do that right. Is partnering with Uber and Lyft to deliver groceries to customers who place an order online.
Perfect for the Walmart customers who are now so morbidly obese that they aren't able to fit through their own front doors.
Cheeseburger. Pack of 12.
It is the great social and it's a great socioeconomic equalizer. Walmart is. We all go there. Sometimes we need a car battery and bananas at 3 o'clock in the morning. Where else are you going to go? Answer: nowhere. But I will say this though. I went to Walmart while I was in upstate New York, and you know what upstate New York Walmart is like?
What?
It's like every other Walmart all over the country. Like, you go into a Walmart, you see the same people there all the time. Not even that. There's just, you know what's interesting? There's a look of defeat in the eyes of people that I see at Walmart. And I'm fairly certain that when I walk into that place, I have the same look of defeat in my eyes as well. I don't know what it is. I'm sure there's studies. But, no matter where you go in the country, Walmart at 1 in the morning is Walmart at 1 in the morning. Same folks there. Go on.
Burger King is testing a Whopper burrito. That is just the contents of a Whopper wrapped in a tortilla.
That sounds like what you make at home when you run out of, like, hot dog buns or hamburger.
Yeah. It sounds like what...
Talk professionally for a living. Hamburger buns. Like, I've done that. Trying to make a peanut butter sandwich. You know, get the butter, get the peanut butter, get the jelly, get the bananas. I'm all ready to make my delicious peanut butter, jelly, honey, banana, potato chip sandwich. Realized, no bread. So I try and wrap it in a tortilla, and it kind of gets the job done, but it's a lot less satisfactory. I do not know if I would like this idea. You going to eat it, Funkhauser, and get back to us?
Yeah.
I'll pay.
Yeah, sure. Whopper, no bun? Sounds
Whopper burrito.
Sounds great.
Yep. Whopper burrito, just the contents of a
excitement.
Whopper. Yeah, wrapped in a tortilla. But is it GMO and gluten-free? That's not one single regular Burger King customer. Go on.
Kenny G, also known as Kenneth Gorlick.
Oh, is that his real name?
Yeah.
You just knew that?
Uh-huh.
You kind of... interesting.
Yeah.
Can open worms everywhere. But you're enough of a Kenny G aficionado to know what his actual name is. But go on. What about Kenneth Gorlick?
He turned the big 6-0 this past weekend.
Oh, yeah. Kenny G is now 60. In other words, still too young to enjoy his own music.
Hey.
What did Kenny G say when he got into the elevator?
What?
This place rocks.
Oh, that's my friend, Kenneth.
Are you do you actually know Kenny G?
I used to work in that stuff, so yeah.
Smooth jazz?
Ooh, don't say it.
So have you met Kenny G?
Mm-hmm.
What's he like?
Kind of like you.
Only successful.
You can play a note without breathing, or while breathing. He
can do that circular breathing thing where he can hold, didn't he do that on a plane?
Yeah, but
air's thinner on planes, so he, all the way from New York to L.A., he held a note for, 4 hours.
Yeah, but that's his go-to bit, so after you've seen it, 8 times, put the sax away.
Yeah.
Come on, we all get it.
We all get it. Yeah. Your wife must be very, very happy. Circular breathing.
Well...
Go on.
We'll just leave that one there. Kim Kardashian said she likes being on the Atkins diet.
It's good to hear she's found other sources of protein. You ever done the Atkins diet?
No. I heard it's a fad and you shouldn't. Or something.
Oh, you couldn't do it with Canadian Jane because she's vegan.
Oh, but because it's all meat?
Mm-hmm. Oh. I actually did the Atkins diet once, not for the reason that everybody does the Atkins diet, but because I I had high cholesterol. How this happened, I wasn't sure. I was in my 20s, and I had high cholesterol. And I read somewhere that if you ate bacon-wrapped bacon fried in butter on a regular basis, if you do the Atkins diet, and you do... Now, please, if you have high cholesterol... Don't do this based on what I'm saying. Not a doctor, obviously. But I've done some research and found that, weirdly enough, if you eat exclusively cholesterol, it lowers your cholesterol. And so I did the Atkins diet, but you got to be super strict when you do this. And like I said, please don't enter into anything without consulting a real doctor. But eating nothing but bacon-wrapped bacon fried in butter for about 6 months lowered my cholesterol. It's crazy. But then I ate like a potato chip and put on like 15 pounds, and my cholesterol shot right the hell up again. So it's not a good short-term fix. One more piece of news.
There's a pic circulating online of Ben Affleck in London wearing eyeliner.
Yeah, Ben Affleck wearing guyliner, preparing for the lead in the new movie Batman vs. Fallout Boy.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is. The dumbing up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
How much time do we have left in the show, Funkhauser? Should we do?
Oh, this is a big one. This is a big chunk. This is the last one, though.
This is the last one?
Yeah. Why, you got a lot to say? You want me to be specific? 13 minutes and 2 seconds.
All right, let's do a couple more pieces of news, and then we'll talk about Donald Trump making donations to veterans, as well as the teacher that taught pimp math. What is pimp math? I'm glad you asked. We'll get into it after Funkhauser does the news.
A 1-year-old in India already hit puberty.
What? Wow. 1-year-old in India hit puberty. What's your excuse then, Justin Bieber?
Also,
what's up, man?
Hey,
I'm Aaron Carter.
Go on.
Hillary Clinton says Donald Trump should never have the nuclear codes because he has a very thin skin.
Yeah, Donald Trump has even said this. He's thin-skinned. He takes things personally. Being a world leader. Like, I think about the amount of crap that we get in radio from listeners that are just having a lousy day and want to vent. Like, it doesn't happen that often, but, you know, a couple million people listening a day, someone's going to get angry at you for something some of the time. Oh, did I tell you what happened a little while back?
No.
This is a new one. I've never had someone get angry at me for showing gratitude or being grateful. It was Teacher Appreciation Week a couple weeks ago, and teachers, if you've listened to the show, you know it's a big deal. I hope everybody has at least one teacher in their life. You need that person outside of your mom, your dad, your parental units. There comes a point in your life growing up where it just doesn't matter that your mom and your dad, they know stuff. You're just not interested, and you need pearls of wisdom, gems of life advice to come from some external source, maybe a relative, hopefully a teacher, an educator, maybe a coach, someone like that. So, you know, we took some time on one of my other shows and celebrated a teacher every single day on Teacher Appreciation Week. People just wrote in and said who their teacher was and what they'd done for them, and the great, inspiring, awesome stories of the people that are leaving that career in droves because there's so little reward for it. And we need those people. We need those people. Look, I'm of the opinion that education it's not an especially new idea, but I think education is a cure-all for so much of what ails us in this country. Education is more than just knowing how to do your times tables. Education's more than just being force-fed Slaughterhouse 5 or pieces of Shakespeare or Lord of the Flies or something like that. Education is a sense of possibility. And that, my friend, is so vital. There's so many kids that grow up thinking there's no possibility. They're so limited in their life choices because that's all they know. Because they don't have an education. Because they don't know that there's something beyond the 5 square miles that they grow up in. And a kid with an education, a kid with a sense of possibility, is much less likely to do something like rob a liquor store. Or on the other side of the world, a kid with an education, less likely to strap a bomb to their chest. But I digress. For all of those reasons, I thought, hey, on Teacher Appreciation Week, it's a cool thing to appreciate teachers. So we did that. I got the angriest email from someone who's like, all these mentions of teachers, not once did you take notice of the fact that it was Prison Guard Appreciation Day. You're scum. You're low. And I was like, I didn't. But now that there's really a day for everything, and trust me on this, I'm not discounting the work people in prisons do. One of my close buddies is a prison guard, and I know what he went through to become that, and I know the sense of reward he has doing the work that he does. It's a big deal, but not everybody knows when it's Prison Guard Appreciation Day. But that was a new one. That was definitely a new one, getting screamed and yelled at for appreciating what they consider to be the wrong people, for showing gratitude to the wrong people. It's nuts. There's no way to win. But like I said, people kind of get at us on a regular basis, and we're just goofballs on the radio. And it's tough. As much as there's like a million instances of this being an awesome thing to do, and you want to feel like you're being positive and uplifting and leaving the world a little bit better of a place than you found it, and making a difference for the better in people's lives that listen to the show. Occasionally, someone's just going to rub you the wrong way, tell you you're scum, tell you that you don't deserve to breathe air or be an American or any of the above. All of these come from actual letters that I've gotten about things I've done, like having the gall to appreciate teachers without making note of prison guards that need appreciating as well. And every once in a while, it's going to get under your skin a little bit. You're going to personalize it, and it's going to mess with your day. Not often. You kind of get used to it. You build up a little resilience, and you go, whatever. It's just par for the course. It's part of the territory. But like I said, we're just radio goofballs. And if you have very thin skin, the way Donald Trump has said he has, I don't know how you got to be almost borderline sociopathic, or actually sociopathic, to not let that stuff get to you. When people criticize you, say you're a horrible person, say that, it's just, I don't know. The bigger and more powerful or more popular you are, the larger of a target that you have right in the middle of your head. And President of the United States of America is going to have that huge target for the slings and arrows of criticism, and should be able to absorb things and not personalize them. And Hillary Clinton said Donald Trump should never have the nuclear codes because he has a very thin skin, which may be a valid point. But then Hillary probably should not have the nuclear codes either, because she'd probably just send them to everybody on her personal email server.
Did I forward those? Oops.
Yeah. Oops. Go on.
Oh, man, so much more. Let me get back to it. Beep, 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 beep. The man who received the first U.S. penis transplant left the hospital on Wednesday.
Hasn't shut down his computer yet.
In a related story, people are asking Ron Wood what... Oh, it's not related? Oh.
No.
People are asking Ron Wood what it's like, what it's going to be like cleaning up vomit and spit and changing dirty diapers at the age of 68.
Yeah, Ron Wood's 68. He has a 38-year-old fiance, girlfriend, something of that nature, and just had a kid. And so people are like, hey, what's it going to be like dealing with all that? What is it going to be like cleaning up vomit and spit and changing diapers at the age of 68? His reply, I go on tour with Keith Richards every year, don't I? This is not new news. All right. So if you do eventually bail on your gig, if you do eventually decide to leave, or if you hit retirement age, or for whatever reason you're not doing your chosen career anymore, are you going to go out with a bang? 8th grade teacher in Mobile, Alabama, her name's Joanne Bolzer, is retiring at the end of the year. And according to at least one of her colleagues, she's very well respected in the teaching community and in the community of Mobile, Alabama itself. Probably not as much as she used to be, though, only because last week, we're not sure how old she is. She looks like she's in her 60s or early 70s. And last week, she decided to go out with a bang by giving students a math test where all the questions were about pimps, prostitutes, and drugs. It's a fake test, that dates back to the mid-'80s, and it's been circulating online since the mid-'90s. Apparently supposed to be funny, really just kind of racist. And one of the questions, Funkhauser, do we have a little game show music? Yeah,
game show music? Well, let's see. Let's put it on this thing. Carry the
I'm going to ask you a math question.
And how about this right here?
Okay. All right. One of the questions...
I didn't know there was math today.
Yeah. On the version Joanne used said, quote, Tyrone knocked up 4 girls in the gang. There are 20 girls in his gang. What is the exact percentage of the girls Tyrone knocked up? Funkhauser? Tyrone knocked up 4 of the girls in the gang.
Never good with
20 girls in his gang. What's the exact percentage?
Never good with word problems. Is that 1/5 of the girls?
It's 1/5 of the girls, which is how many percentages?
20?
There you go. Very good.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Usually not good with word problems, but
another question. Dwayne pimps 3 hoes.
Okay.
If the price is $85 per trick, how many tricks per day must each hoe turn to support Dwayne's $800 per day crack habit? It's a pretty hefty crack habit.
I think not 8 or 9. 8 or 9 tricks.
Yeah.
7 tricks.
Again, Dwayne pimps 3 hoes. If the price is $85 per trick, how many tricks per day must each hoe turn to support his $800 per day crack habit?
Oh, there's 3. So collectively, this is going to take me too long.
All right, 4. The answer is 4. And like I said, that's quite the crack habit. So a bunch of parents complained after their kids told them about it over the weekend. And Joanne's been on administrative leave this week. And it looks like that's how she's going to end her teaching career because their last day in school was Wednesday. So there you go. That's it. Man, this is a test from the 80s. I wonder if these prices reflect actual marketplace prices for 80s hoes and crack, because all that stuff is a lot. Having never been involved in prostitution or crack cocaine, I didn't know how expensive it was. But like in the 80s, $85 per trick, that seems like a lot, right?
Who, me?
I don't know.
I don't know. Seems like a lot. In the 80s, inflation, sure. Today, that would be like a $3,000 trick, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Huh. Speaking of inflation, money, and the passage of time, more than a dozen of the checks that Trump wrote to veterans groups came within the last week. You remember everything that Trump was doing? He was just like, I'm not going to take a penny of this for myself. I'm going to have my own event. I will not be showing up and doing the Fox debate. I'm going to have my own event. I'm going to raise a whole bunch of money for veterans. And people went, hey, that's really great. Which veterans specifically? Where is this money going? Who's it going to? How is it getting there? When will it arrive? And, more than a dozen of the checks came within the last week after the Washington Post started investigating whether or not he gave the money away. The largest donation, $1 million, was dated May 24th. Which was, like I said, not that long ago, and drawn from Donald J. Trump's personal account addressed to a small Tuckahoe, New York group that provides scholarships to the children of fallen Marines, which is, without a shadow of a doubt, a fantastic cause. And Donald Trump ultimately gave $1 million to this organization. It's good stuff. That same day, Trump was interviewed by the Washington Post and pressed hard about where was the money he had promised to vets groups. As Charles Krauthammer said, I love that guy. I love Charles Krauthammer. He is a one-of-a-kind individual. You look at him, you color him green, and you have a super intelligent, uber-conservative version of the Grinch staring at you. Like, he's amazing. But I love Charles Krauthammer. I don't agree with some of the stuff he says, but I could listen to him talk. I could just look at his face as he talks forever. But Charles Krauthammer said the Washington Post's scrutiny might have actually stimulated the execution of these donations, or it was, quote, one heck of a coincidence. The Associated Press yesterday followed up with each of the organizations Trump named as giving to. Of the 30 groups they were able to get a hold of, about half said they had received checks from Trump in the last week. Several said checks were dated on or about May 24th, the date as Trump's interview with the Post went down, and shipped out overnight. So there you go. As long as we have the Washington Post to police our president, I guess everything will be fine? Question mark?
It's cool to turn the other cheek and give people the benefit of the doubt even when they don't deserve it.